No, I didn't forget that an innocent man is sitting in a prison for a crime he didn't commit. It was absolutely a brutal crime. It should have never happened. Those victims didn't deserve it. But you can't get justice from an injustice, and regardless of what side of the aisle you fall on in terms of Richard Allen being guilty or innocent, I think a lot of us can agree that at the very least that man didn't get a fair trial. So huge shout out for Drip Drop for bringing this interrogation video for all of us to watch. And the link to both this one and the other one will be available in the description below. But instead of spending 5 hours talking about all the lies Holman told Richard Allen to try to get him into a false confession, let's talk about the moment law enforcement knew exactly what they had to do to get what they wanted from him. All that being said, everything's alleged. Welcome to the point. Let's get to it.
Hey, baby. Yeah. It's all right, babe.
There's a reason they brought her in here.
It's gonna be all right. They're trying to tell me that you actually believe that I did it. And I just can't believe that.
Trying to figure out where there's a bullet out there, dude.
I know. Do you think I'm not? And that's what I told them. But I can't explain something I don't understand. I tried to explain to him that there's no way that a bullet from my gun was at a scene because it didn't happen. I didn't even have my gun that day I went out. You know me. You know this isn't something I could do.
Now, I think something that's missing from the conversation. I have seen a couple people make reaction videos to these interrogations. And one of the things they're saying is Kathy's clearly put off. She believes Richard Allen did it. Look how she's sitting with her arms crossed. She knows he's guilty. She's just not wanting to say it. Maybe she's scared. I've heard a wide range of nonsense, but you got to keep something in mind. During the entire time Richard Allen is being interrogated for a crime he didn't commit, his wife is going through the same thing. And she's being told the same information. We have all this proof. We have this rock solid evidence. If you don't tell us what's going on, we're going to get you for being an accomplice or some kind of nonsense like that. What they were trying to do was put her against him. And they knew from earlier on during those interrogations when they mentioned his wife, they saw a change in Richard Allen's dynamic. And when you're the interrogator or you're being interrogated, you have to understand one thing on both sides of this particular discussion. When an individual has a change in behavior or a change in attitude, that is a weakness. That is an opening. And individuals who do interrogate look for that opening. It doesn't matter if you think your response is slick or not. Anytime you change your demeanor, the interrogator knows at that particular moment, that particular thing that was brought up is going to be something that gets a change. It's going to be their opening, and through that opening, they hope they can elicit more information. That's what's going on right here. They saw a chink in his armor after hours and hours through multiple interrogations. They could get absolutely nothing. But the moment his wife is mentioned, the moment something's mentioned about his family, Richard Allen changes. And they're trying to use this against him. They've been filling her head with all kinds of nonsense. She can't make heads or tails of what she's been told. All she knows is law enforcement says they had this proof that Richard Allen was at a crime scene. So people taking how she's acting out of context need to chill out.
And I know that you know that. You don't have to tell me
does.
that, I know.
She left that courtroom and said this ain't over, and it's not.
They really think I did this. And they want me to believe that I know you know I didn't do this. I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know what they're trying to do here.
I know exactly what they're trying to do here. What they're trying to do is bring her in to disarm you a little bit so they can get more information. At this very moment, law enforcement is on the other end of this camera listening to everything he's saying. They're listening and taking notes, and they're trying to find anything that they can use against him as this interrogation goes on.
But I'm not going to say something that's not true, and I can't explain something that I don't understand. The only way for me to explain it is that I don't know. Because I'm saying it's not possible. There's no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a scene.
And let's just address this because I don't believe it's been fairly talked about. Everybody keep in mind, for those of y'all who believe Richard Allen is guilty, the key piece of evidence the state said they had against Richard Allen during the trial was this round found at the scene. Mcleland got up there and said, "We have a round at the scene. It exclusively belonged to this man's firearm, and because it was only his and could only be his, that means he was there." Now, during the testimony of the state's ballistic expert, she got up there and tried to make the same case. This round belongs to him. But come to find out, number one, she could not get the round to match these tool marks until she changed the conditions it was found, meaning the round found at the scene was never discharged. And she had to discharge a round in Richard Allen's weapon just to get something similar to a tool mark, and she said this exclusively matches Richard Allen's weapon. Now, during cross-examination, once again, she came out and said that she could not exclude other weapons tested. And just that alone discounts what the state is saying. A round cannot exclusively belong to one individual, while at the same time belonging to other individuals. That makes absolutely no sense. You can't have somebody get up there and say they're an expert and their expertise is exact, while at the same time those individuals are saying that their expertise is subjective, meaning it's opinion-based. None of this makes any sense. The state had no evidence. Their timeline didn't match up. You can say what you want, but this was a botched investigation, and the only way they got a guilty conviction is because they denied this man his constitutional rights.
I didn't anybody. I didn't help somebody.
We know.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you. I know you know me. I know you know that I didn't do this. Had anything to do with it. They talk about scheming or something.
Yeah, I don't know how did a bullet from your get out there?
It didn't, Kathy.
I don't know, huh?
Because they said it came from our gun.
They said a lot of nonsense.
I know that's what they believe me. That's what they're telling me.
But how did it get there?
I don't know.
They said there was one in your box above your dresser that matched it.
They showed me that picture too. I can't explain it. And I don't.
I can't either. They keep asking me and I don't know how to answer that.
I'll explain how that round got out there and why they believe it's Richard Allen's weapon. Of those other weapons tested that they could not exclude to match the round found at the scene, Richard Allen was the only idiot who was dumb enough to say, "I want to help law enforcement in figuring out who did what." That's the difference here. The other individuals who had their weapons tested, I can almost guarantee, said they were nowhere near the scene during the time of the attack. That's why Richard Allen's in the situation he's in. Law enforcement asked for help, he wanted to help, and he tried to help, but now here he is.
You answer. I understand. Me either. And that's what I'm trying to tell them. You want to keep asking me, and I just keep telling you I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain something that isn't possible.
They said a lot of things.
But I know, this is what I do know. I know that no bullet from my was connected with her in any way, shape, or form. And there's no way a bullet from my would have been near Abby and Libby's or anything else, because I never even seen those girls.
They put his wife through hell.
And I didn't even have my that day. So that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't know how to make that any clearer. I don't know how to make somebody understand.
I can't bad investigations.
I don't have a way to explain it.
And also, one of the jurors who did do an interview said that they didn't pay much attention to the state's ballistic expert, meaning the key piece of evidence the state is trying to say ties Richard Allen to the crime scene had no bearing on their decision. Honestly, make that make sense.
And they're like, there's a witness that said it was you out there.
Of all the individuals who said they saw a bridge guy, not one of those witnesses took the stand and said they saw Richard Allen. That was a bold-faced lie by law enforcement to put Richard Allen's wife against him and to elicit a false confession from Richard Allen.
Dear, I don't know what...
Like, how did they know it was you? So they said they showed her a picture. And I'm like, of course you were out there.
If they seen me out there, they seen me out there, dear. And I told them...
Were you on the bridge?
I told them I was on the bridge. I went out to the first trestle.
Oh, okay.
That first
I
thing
don't remember you telling me that. He told me you weren't, so I told him you weren't on it. But I didn't.
It doesn't, hon, you're not in any trouble. You didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Tell him, right?
Huh?
I didn't know you were on it. I'm sorry.
Well, don't worry about it.
You told me you,
Huh?
you told me you weren't, so I just was.
No, I told you that I walked.
And now he knows that's going to be used against him.
Okay.
I love you, baby.
And he's still not mad at his wife. What's jacked up here is when this man was found guilty of a crime he didn't commit, the first thing he did was turn around and tell his wife, I'm going to be okay. Don't worry about me.
I don't know what they're trying to do, but I know that that's.
I know what they're trying to do.
I love you.
They're trying to win an election.
And I just, it's just, they're not going to get away with this.
No, they're not going to get away with it.
This is exactly what I would never want for you, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to say I did something I didn't do.
Now, to be fair, he apparently said he did something he didn't do about 60 times according to the state. But once again, there's some additional information that a lot of people either don't know or they're just willingly ignoring it. They put this man in solitary confinement. They knew his weakness was his wife, and they denied any visit from her, even though he hadn't been found guilty of a crime. Then what they did is force medication into his body and completely broke him mentally. So did he confess to doing this? Yeah, he confessed apparently 60 times. But not only did he confess to this, it was also said he confessed to doing something horrible to his stepsister and his daughter, I believe. But it came out at trial that none of that was true. He also said he discharged his round into one of the victims, and we know that's not true either. But everybody wants to conveniently forget all that. They want to say, well, it's just a joke. This is nonsense. He confessed, game over. Nobody in their right mind would confess to a crime they didn't commit. But put yourself in that situation if you're a normal, functioning human being who at the very least, absolutely above all things, loves and needs contact with your wife, and then they find out that you're separated. How are you going to react? When they put you in solitary confinement far longer than they're legally allowed, what are you going to do? Especially when they're jacking you up with medicine. I mean, none of this makes sense. It's been several times after making multiple videos about this story, I've had to stop and ask myself, is this America? Is this what we become? I mean, just as a society, if we're no better than the people we put in prison, honestly, who's guilty of what at that point? Everybody has rights. Even convicted people have rights. People who are convicted of crimes need to be treated a certain way. If we act like animals and treat people like animals, we're no different from them.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I know you know me, and I know you know that I would never do this.
She knows.
All I can say, hon, is you know me. I know, and I know you know me, and I know you. And what they're doing to you right now, I'm not okay with this at all.
His weakness has been verified.
And they know it, but they're going to do what they're going to do.
They know exactly what they're going to do, and they know exactly how they're going to do it. They're going to do a bullcrap safekeeping order, put you in solitary confinement, and separate you from her. They're going to break you mentally so you say something they want you to say because you haven't said it at any point in time during any of these interrogations.
I'm just sorry you're having to hurt. I'm sorry I'm having to go through it. I mean, it's like I told them, the damage is already done. You've already talked to people I work with, you've talked to neighbors of mine, and I care about what people think. You know I care about what people think.
I know.
Hell, I have enough trouble not trying to believe that people think. Half the time I just think they think what I'm thinking. You know what I'm talking about. I'm always worried about what Jory thinks, or...
I know.
And they're trying to, you know, talk about my anxiety and depression. And, you know, I've tried to explain to them it's been going on for 7, 8 years. Hell, I've had it my whole life. They want me to tell them that I did it. And I'm not going to. I'm not going to admit to something that I didn't do. How stupid is that? I don't care what they do to me. I'm not going to admit to doing something I had nothing to do with. And I'm not going to try to explain something I can't explain, because I don't know. You tell me, because I don't know. I just know that I never even carried the unless we were going mushroom hunting, tromping through the woods, or fishing along the river. That's the only time I even carried it for the most part. I never even would have, hell, I haven't carried my, I don't even remember a time when I used to carry it. I mean, other than going fishing, like if we were going night fishing.
This is a crime circus presentation.
But how could the bullet get out there, honey? I can't understand that.
I told you, I can't either, hon. There's two explanations. One is, the bullet didn't come from my...
Yep.
It did though, honey. The cut ballistics on it.
I get that. Then it didn't come from my scene. I don't know what else to say.
It came from the
I
actual
get that.
suspect.
I get what they're saying. What I'm telling you is, if that bullet came from my... There's no way it was found with their investigation. There's no way. I can't explain something I have no answer for.
The state can't either, don't worry.
They want you to think that I done it. That's what this is all about. They want you to come in here and make me believe that you think I did it, and I know you don't. You know me too well. You know I'd never do something like this, or even be involved with something like this. So they're probably going to come and take you away from me and go at me again. So. Just tell them you want an attorney. And they'll have to let you leave. Don't worry about me.
Not in Delphi. They'll kick the attorney
So
off.
I'm trying to, I don't know what they're doing. Like, yes, you do. There is no way that evidence is going to show that I did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the real Jerry Holman, a.k.a. Buzz. He hasn't stopped bullying people since Kevin McAllister.
Here, Rick.
You got one piece of evidence
I got
that I
multiple
can't explain.
pieces.
No, you got
Multiple.
nothing.
I'm not showing you my whole hand here.
I
Yeah,
don't
you are.
care. I'm
You
telling
should
you, I'm
care.
done
And
talking.
now you're going to drag your wife and your daughter through this because you're too bullheaded to get out in front of this and admit that you made a mistake.
He's trying to get a
And what
response right here.
happened out there, we'll never know because you're too big of a. Go ahead.
So tell you I did something
Tell me
that
the
I
truth.
didn't do.
The truth, Rick. I don't want to
I've
know.
told
what
you the truth and you don't want to hear it.
The evidence tells me otherwise.
The only reason his wife is still in there right now is because they believe they can use her to get to him. At this point, they're trying anything and everything they can do because nothing has worked up to this point. The state of Indiana is trying to manipulate Richard Allen and use his wife as a pawn.
The evidence clearly indicates you're involved in this.
No,
I
it
saw this.
doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
I'm telling you that there is no way that a bullet from my gun was used in these.
And I'm telling you that we had this around on February the
understand.
14th, 2017. It's been secured in a laboratory, and we've tested other.
I wish you would have said, we've tested other guns and we couldn't exclude them, but you're the only one dumb enough to say you were there during the time of the attack.
That people that we.
I understand
I'm
what you're
telling her.
saying.
I want her to hear this,
I
Rick.
understand what you're saying. What I'm telling you is, I can't explain something I don't understand.
Oh, the scientists
That's not
explained
No,
it for
the
you.
scientists didn't.
The lab analysis of analysts have explained that
No,
for
they
you.
haven't.
They're saying that this round, without a doubt, came from your.
No, they didn't.
Then
And you
you've
told me.
taken it from somewhere else then. Because it's not possible.
I did not take it from somewhere else. It was logged in. It was taken as a photograph. You think we went and stole your around and threw it down by that girl's
No, I
foot?
think you botched the investigation, you turd.
This ain't TV. This is realistic.
I understand.
We collected that item on February the 14th. We didn't take it from anywhere else but that scene. And we didn't take your from anywhere else. We took it from your
I'm telling you, I can't explain something.
And I'm telling you, the analysts explain it. You can't get past this.
Can you please let my wife out?
Absolutely. Come on, Kathy.
I love you, baby. Can I kiss her?
Yeah, kiss her. Do the right thing, Kathy. Tell him to
Yep,
do the right
time to
thing.
go, Kathy. What they tried to
knows
get
I
from
will.
you
Yeah,
didn't
do
work.
the right thing. You're going to put your family through this for no reason.
While everything's paused, once again, the full link to this will be down in the description below.
What?
You're gonna pay for what you've done to my wife.
What am I
You
doing?
wanna with me, with me, but you leave my wife out of this.
That's the moment, once again, for sure they knew all they had to do to get what they want was separate him from her. And they did it by doing a bullcrap safekeeping order, putting that man in a prison before he was found guilty of a crime and keeping him in solitary confinement and denying any and all communication, except under limited circumstances.
Leave me out of it.
No, you're involved in this.
No, you're not.
Grounds there, Rick.
No,
No,
it's
I can
not.
see you're getting pissed off. I
I
understand.
am pissed off. Did you not see my wife?
Did you not see these two girls? No, that's what happened. You got pissed off at them. You dragged them down a hill, and you
I didn't.
Holman's such a tough guy. Why does it sound like he washes his mouth out with diesel?
tell me you didn't.
I didn't.
I'm upset for a reason, not because
You
of
guys
us.
are trying to
Because of you.
kill somebody.
You're trying to tell me that I'm not making this round up, Rick.
Yes, you
It is
are.
what it is.
I'm done talking. Arrest me.
Happy to. Be happy to, because I tried to help you and you wouldn't do it.
Oh, you're helping me.
I'm guilty and I know it, and I'm going to prove it.
No,
Okay.
you don't.
And I'm not paying for any of this. You're paying. This is on you. This ain't on me. It's on you, Rick. You had your opportunity.
Once again, special thanks to Drip Drop Crime Circus for putting this out unedited without any voiceover. I had long said I would really want to hear the interview between Richard Allen and Jerry Holman, and now we got it. And it went exactly like I thought it would. They did everything they could to try to break him then, and he wouldn't break, so they did what they did to get a confession. The link to his channel and both of these videos will be down in the description below, and the links to a website so you can follow what's going on with this particular story, plus who you want to call if you feel like you need to call will be down in the description below. And if you enjoy this and a more fair open conversation, maybe check one of these videos out. Y'all be safe now.